My art is heavily influenced by seasons. When it snows outside, it snows in my pieces. When everything blooms in spring, all I can think about is drawing flowers. And when summer arrives and the world is cheerful and saturated, so is my color palette. But today, it's all about autumn. I'd like to celebrate the season with you by creating some autumn-inspired art and give it one last goodbye before winter arrives. We're starting with a piece I called The 5 Senses of Autumn, which I created as an October printable for my patrons. Each season has a particular experience for each of the senses, and with autumn, the site is blessed with all of the most perfect shades of yellows, oranges, reds, and browns. These are the colors I'm also the most comfortable using in my art, so whenever autumn arrives, I get very excited to lean even more into them. I represented the site here with the pumpkin and the rose hip. The scents and tastes of autumn are very rich and crisp. When I was drawing the candle, I thought of cinnamon mixed with the smell of a misty day and brown leaves. And the pie evoked the sweet taste of baked apples, pears, and cinnamon again, because that is such an autumn spice. Autumn also brings the comfort of soft, warm sweaters to please our touch, and the satisfying crunch of walking on the ground full of fallen leaves. And this is the finished result. The printable that is still up on my Patreon, if you're not yet ready to wave the season goodbye and would like to keep a bit of the autumn cheer. I got to do a fun art challenge with my friends Angelin and Alicia and many others on Instagram called the Mood of the Month Challenge, where we drew a piece for each of the months of the year. And of course, I recorded the process of the autumn months for you. There's one thing I still strongly associate with September. Kite flying. Our elementary school used to hold these kite flying events where each child would bring their own kite, we'd gather on a field, and all fly our kites at the same time. I knew I had to show that in my September piece. And since my challenge was all about drawing small people using normal-sized objects, I drew the brave pilot sitting on the kite while flying it. October to me is when the most cheery, colorful part of autumn happens. And that's why I still struggle to associate it with the spooky Halloween vibes. Though that might also be due to the fact that we don't celebrate it here in the Czech Republic. However, the idea of a tiny person carving chestnuts, acorns, and rowan berries instead of pumpkins, because those would be too big for her, was too cute to pass up. So here you go! October is actually represented by a Halloween-themed illustration. If there is a spooky period of autumn, it's the entire month of November to me. It has the perfect weather for it. The misty landscape with the dead nature where only small splashes of color in the form of the last forgotten leaves are showing is the perfect setting for a moody horror film. It's the perfect weather to find a cozy spot and grab a good book. So of course, my November character had to be reading. I put her under a book tent and used a more desaturated color palette than I normally would to get the moodiness of the month across. I turned each of the monthly illustrations into little vinyl stickers, and I am now selling them in my store along with all of the other months of the year. The last thing I'll show you today to wrap the autumn theme up is this little spooky illustration. I watched Sleepy Hollow for the very first time this year, and the aesthetic of the film and the November weather put my art into such a dark mood that all I could think of was drawing misty chapels. I decided to use watercolors for this little sketchbook drawing against my better judgment, as me and watercolors still aren't best friends, and oh my, did I struggle during the process. But with perseverance and a bit of help of some water-based markers, I was able to finish the piece to a somewhat satisfactory result. As I'm recording this, it has already snowed for the first time this season, and that marks the beginning of winter to me. I am glad I could give one last goodbye to autumn in this video, and I'm even more glad that I got to share it with you. Thank you for spending time with me, and even a bigger thank you if you happen to be my patron, because I don't think there would be any video without your support. Take care. Bye.